28 years after the demolition of the Babari Masjid comes its verdict. What's significant about 28 years? Well, India's median age is 27, which means more than half of today's Indians were not born in 1992 when that Mughal era mosque was pulled down. Welcome to this week's Geometric View, in which we take a look at India's judges and its bridges, because judiciary and infrastructure are two key ingredients that represent the soft and solid aspects of a nation's economy and its future. One shouldn't be upset if today's youth ask, what is all this controversy about the Babari Masjid demolition? Because it happened a long way back, well before today's millennials arrived. 1992 was the year of the Barcelona Olympics. Bill Clinton was the US president. IBM had launched the ThinkPad 700C laptop, and the Cold War was officially declared over. In India, 1992 was the year of the Harshad Mehta case. Ironically, it was also the same year that stock market regulator SEBI was launched, and the Indian rupee had crashed from 20 to $1 to 30 to $1 within that year. The internet was still 3 years away in India. Sachin Tendulkar was a promising teenage cricketer playing his first World Cup, and Bollywood star Alia Bhatt and Oyo founder Ritesh Agarwal and numerous other successful Indians of today were not even born. That's how far back Babari Masjid was demolished, and that's how long it takes to get a case through the courts of India to its verdict. Now, why is all this important at this juncture? Because millions of Indian youth are desperately seeking jobs, and investments are unlikely to come to countries where the law cannot be enforced on time. We are all hoping that companies that leave China will flock to India and set up units here, providing us jobs. But businessmen will think twice before investing in countries where even a check dishonor case can drag on for 5 years and more. It isn't that India's judges are deliberately dragging all the cases. On the contrary, it has more to do with too few judges to deal with the mountainous pile of cases in India. India's pending cases are estimated at 33 million, 10% of which are more than 10 years old. Compare that 33 million number with the deficiency of judges in India, and we understand why there is so much delay in providing timely justice to people. India has only about 20 judges per million population, which is the lowest among all the leading economies of the world. The US has 107 judges, Canada has 75, the UK has 51, and Australia has 41 judges per million population. The lopsided judiciary population ratio means that we ought to expect delayed justice in India and its consequences. Therefore, when the Babari Masjid demolition case verdict was given 28 years after the incident, 17 of the 49 accused had died. And these examples keep happening. In 2000, forest brigand Veerappan had kidnapped Rajkumar, the Kannada actor. The verdict came a good 18 years later in 2018. Veerappan was killed in 2004 and the actor had died in 2006. Delayed justice is just one aspect. Perhaps the biggest setback India ever suffered in terms of denting its investor confidence was when 4 senior judges of the Supreme Court held a press conference to say that they were unhappy with the way the judiciary was functioning. Now, which investor will have the confidence to invest in a country where senior judges of the country's apex court feel that they themselves are unhappy with the way proceedings happen in the top judiciary? Delayed justice is dangerous because citizens may be prompted to take law into their own hands, as happened in Kerala this week when a dubbing artist and a friend decided to assault a man who had abused them on social media. India's delayed justice system has a close parallel in its dilapidated bridges, in which corruption is an ingredient along with concrete and steel. Take a look at some of the bridges that have collapsed in different parts of the country in just the past few weeks. In Kishanganj, Bihar, a newly constructed bridge collapsed ahead of its inauguration. In Raichur, Karnataka, a bridge collapsed even as an MLA and his team were inspecting it. And in Kochi, Kerala, the Palarivattam flyover in the heart of town, which was open to traffic in 2016 and closed in 2019 when it developed cracks, is being broken this week ahead of its restoration. The original cost of the Kochi bridge was 480 million rupees, and now it's being restored at 180 million rupees more after just 3 years of use. And the corruption cases linked to the Kochi bridge have just begun their meandering course. Like in the Babari Masjid case, another generation may get to hear the verdict. Seen in this context, one should not be asking why the Tata Group decided to have its recent Jaguar Land Rover project set up in China, or why Flipkart decided to register in Singapore. With our slow judicial processes and dilapidated infrastructure, we can't be going too far. Unless we make fundamental and considerable changes to our judicial processes and infrastructure, the hope that companies from China will relocate to India will just be wishful thinking. Thank you. But before I sign off, let me share a very heartwarming tidbit with you. In August, Geometric View had featured the story of Mary Sebastian, a woman who had lost a job and yet kept a 100-rupee note discreetly in a charity lunch packet she was giving to flood-affected people in her neighborhood. Seeing the video, IBS Software Services, a global leader in travel, transportation and logistics software services, decided to gift her a check of 100,000 rupees. The check was handed over recently. Appreciate the generous gesture of IBS Software Services, which matches the equally selfless and humane act of Mary Sebastian. Thank you.